Hey guys, this is Stephanie Lowe, founder and CEO of the J29 Experience. I wanted to come and go live with you guys on tonight to talk about, in particular, dealing with grief during the holiday season and how you can prevent yourself from going through a depression relapse during this time. And I chose to talk about this particular subject during this time because as we are going through the holiday seasons, as we are dealing with all of the festivities that are taking place and so many awesome memories are being created, it's hard to really understand that there are some people that have a really difficult time during this time of year. And, I want to remind you guys that this is the time where depression is at an all time high. This is a time period where people go through grief tremendously because as festivities and memories are being created, it's often a time where the feelings of loss and the loss of a person that may have transitioned is extremely high. And so I wanted to stop by and share some pointers with you guys to number one, how do you overcome grief during the holiday season? And then also, number two, how can you prevent yourself from experiencing what I like to call a depression relapse? And then I want to also share some tips with family and friends of those people who may be experiencing loss or grief, and those people who may have dealt with depression on how you can be an awesome support to those who may be going through a difficult time. And so, one of the things that I want to share is that you have to, number one, allow yourself to grieve, right? There is no set time on grief. There is no set time period on when you should grieve, when you should be done grieving. But grief happens in its own stage for every person in its own particular time. And here's the reason why. Everybody goes through things differently. Every relationship is different. Every memory that you've shared with your loved one is different. And so when you go through grief and when you experience loss, there is nothing that anyone can tell you that will say, hey, you're supposed to grieve for this particular amount of time, or you should be done grieving. I have had people to tell me that I've grieved too long. And for those of you who know me personally, this time of year is typically a really hard time for me because it's a time where I lost my brother to a tragic situation. And what I've learned to do, I've learned to overcome my feelings of sadness. I've learned to overcome my feelings of depression. I've learned to overcome my feelings of just trying to fill that void. And I've grown to accept the fact that, you know what, I have those memories to hold on to. And although we can never replace someone physically, what we can do is create awesome new memories that will allow us to be reminded that the love we share for them will forever live on in our hearts and in the hearts of those around us. And so I want you to, number one, not feel guilty about grieving. Don't ever feel guilty or allow anyone to make you feel guilty about grieving or about the loss that you have experienced because it is your experience and it's something that you have to own. And it's totally okay to have a roller coaster of emotions. You are going to experience pain and anger and sadness and all of these things. And there's no set time period for them. You can experience them all at one time. You can experience them in different waves or different wavelengths or wave patterns. It is totally normal for you to feel a slew of emotions during this time. So number one, you have to be okay with grieving. You have to allow yourself to feel the pain. You have to do this soberly. I know that there are so many ways that we try to mask our pain, whether it be through alcohol or recreational drugs or sex or, surrounding ourselves in environments that may not be healthy or conducive to where we're trying to go and how we're trying to get through the situation. But you have to soberly allow yourself to grieve. What does that mean? That simply means, right, without anything else, without alcohol as a cover up, without sex, without recreational drugs, without partying, without all of those things, you have to take the time to sit still, to allow yourself to feel that hurt, to feel that anger, to feel that sadness, to get those things and release those things from your system. And I want to remind you on tonight that even Jesus wept. When Jesus was going to the burial site or the grave or the site where Lazarus died, he wept because Lazarus was someone who was close to his heart. Although he knew he would see him again, he still wept. So I want you to understand that weeping is something that is completely normal. It is something that we must do to have a release in the physical form. And it's totally okay to do. And I know a lot of you, find it uncomfortable to go through the grieving process simply because a lot of us are strong and, crying may seem like a form of weakness, but it's not. Crying is just a reminder that you're human and that you are going through things and that you know that it's completely healthy to release those things so that you can truly and fully heal. So, number one, I want you to know that it is okay to grieve, and you have to allow yourself to soberly go through those emotions of the grieving process. And the next thing I want you to do is, remember that you can't bring that person back. And even though you can't bring them back, there are different things that you can do to honor the life and legacy of that person. And so I charge you and I encourage you to create honorable memories for this person. What that simply means is create a tradition every year. Perhaps you can attend a candle lighting ceremony or create your own candle lighting ceremony. Perhaps you can do a balloon releasing. And so one thing that I did this year, I attended a candle lighting ceremony. And so for me, it was really, really special and it was really important. And even though it's something that's done in a tangible format, it gives me an opportunity, or it gave me an opportunity to just kind of remind myself that I still have the memories of the person that I lost. I still cherish those memories. And although they're not here, I know that there's something that I can do to remind myself that the love that I share with them and for them will never, ever leave. And they'll always be in my heart. And so that was something that uplifted my spirit and it helped me to get through the different emotions that I was experiencing during that time. So I encourage you to create honorable memories for the person that you have lost, or just to uplift your spirit. And then the third thing that I challenge you to do is to go out and serve other people. When you go out and serve other people, it does something to your spirit that I just cannot explain, right? When you go out and you just serve other people without looking for anything in return, without looking for accolades, without, looking for a hand clap or a pat on the back, when you are serving other people, not only does it help your spirit, but it helps them as well, because you never know what someone else may be dealing with. And believe it or not, there are people who are going through things that are worse than you. There are some people who have never made it out of depression. There are some people who never made it out of grief. And that grief turned into severe depression, which could have led to things such as suicide or an overdose or just anything that could have happened along those lines. So I charge you and I challenge you, go out and serve someone else. The very thing that you need, provide that to somebody else. If it's support that you need, go out and give it to someone else. There are so many shelters and nonprofit organizations and churches and nursing homes that are full of people who want love, who want support, who just want someone to be there during this time. And that will be a great opportunity for you to get out and selflessly give to someone else. And that's something that I pride myself on doing, because when you serve other people, it does something to your heart. It does something to your mind. It eases, anything that you could be dealing with. And so that very thing that I find that I need, that I'm lacking, I try to provide that to other people. And believe it or not, it comes back full circle, right? So I encourage you to get out there to serve other people. And then another pointer is surround yourself with support. One thing that people often do when they're experiencing grief or depression, is we tend to isolate ourselves. And so I encourage you and I charge you not to isolate yourself during this time, but reach out to your family, reach out to your friends, reach out to those trusted individuals that you can be around them in a no judgment zone. You can vent, you can cry, you can be angry, and they'll just be there to be that listening ear, or to be that hug if you need it, or to just allow you to just be yourself and go through the emotions that you may be experiencing, and to know that, hey, they're there, they've got you, they're covering you, they're praying for you, they're being that support to you, they're offering a smile, they're providing their sense of humor, they're providing just their presence alone, right? So I charge you and I encourage you to surround yourself with trusted individuals who will be a support system to you during this time. And believe it or not, our family and our friends, all they need to know is that we're dealing with something. Sometimes all it takes is for us to express and say, hey, I'm not okay during this time. I need you guys during this time a little bit more than usual. I need you guys to do regular checkups. I need you guys to check in on me. I need you guys just to, send something funny my way to remind me that, hey, we're here for you, we love you, and we appreciate you. And so those are the 4 steps and the 4 pointers that I want to share with you. If you are dealing with grief or depression during this time, allow yourself to grieve. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't be apologetic about it. Allow yourself to go through those emotions, to understand that you are going to deal with a slew of emotions. You may have them all at once. You may have them one at a time. You may have them back to back. And then it may repeat itself several times. It's totally okay. And if you feel like you're getting to the point that there's just an imbalance or something that you cannot get under control after you've prayed about it, after you have surrounded yourself with supporters, after you have taken that isolated time to just meditate, to get in God's word, after you've created honorable memories, after you've served other people, if you still cannot pull out of that thing, always seek the help of a therapist, a counselor, a spiritual mother or father, someone that you can trust who you know is qualified, who is trusted to pull you out of that slump so that you don't stay there. And so, those are some things that I want you to know is that number one, again, allow yourself to grieve, right? Allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to go through the grieving process. Surround yourself with support. Not only that, but get out there and serve other people. Serve other people, and then, understand that it is totally okay to go through that process. And then for those of you who may know somebody who's dealing with grief or depression during this time, you may not always be able to recognize the signs. But what you can do is during this time, check in on your friends and your family, right? Do those periodic checkups, and allow them to feel safe. Allow them to feel safe by coming to you, by venting to you, and allow them to know that, hey, this is a no judgment zone. Whatever it is that you're dealing with, I'm here for you. I've got you. I'm praying for you and with you. And then offer to do things with that individual. Offer to go out to dinner, offer to go to different events around the city to create those happy moments for that person. Because believe it or not, they will appreciate it. You may not see it then, you may not see it right away, but I guarantee you it will be appreciated. And you are essentially replenishing those hurtful, those sad moments for them. And you're creating happy memories for them. So to every person who is a support, to every person who is just been there for someone who's dealing with grief or depression, thank you so much. In case you don't hear it, thank you. It's appreciated. Your presence is appreciated. Your prayers are appreciated. And also to that one person who feels like you are just stuck in that dark place, I want to let you know that anytime you isolate yourself from people, anytime you isolate yourself and you are just stuck and you don't want to get out of the house, that is a sign of severe depression. And you have to make yourself get out. Cause yourself to get out of the house. Go for a walk. Being out in nature is something that helps you. It replenishes your spirit, and it is something that really uplifts you. So even if you just go out, go to the library, go read a book, go to the movies, take yourself out to dinner. But whatever you do, I encourage you and I charge you not to allow grief and depression to overtake you during this time. And I want you to also know that I'm praying for you. I don't have to know your name. I don't have to know specifically what you are dealing with, but all you need to know is that I've been where you are. I've been where you are. I have overcome it. And I'm still overcoming that thing. And I am so extremely grateful for every person who has offered support, who has reached out to me during this time, who has just been there to say, hey, I know that this is a time that's very special for you. I love you. I'm reaching out to you. Let me know if there's anything that I can do. We need those people in our lives. And we also need to be those types of people to somebody else's life, because everybody doesn't talk about what they're dealing with behind closed doors. And you never know the struggles that someone may be facing internally, may be facing mentally, may be facing emotionally. So I want you guys to be understanding during this time. I want you to reach out more to your family, to your friends, to your loved ones. I want you to even reach out to those coworkers. Everyone doesn't have family and friends as support. So sometimes the only support, the only encouragement that they'll ever get is from you. So I want you guys to be encouraged during this time. I want you guys to uplift each other during this time. And I want you to understand that life is short. right? You only get one go at it. So enjoy it while you have it. Live, your life to the fullest. Laugh often, forgive often, release your pride, apologize often as you need to, and just understand that even though your loved ones may not be here, and even though life happens, right? Life still happens, but you have a choice to take the life that you have and to create a positive experience from it, or to allow life to overtake you. And so I just want to share that with you on tonight. I want you guys to share this video with someone else, because you never know what people may be dealing with. And hey, listen, we are always here at the J29 Experience offering mentoring and consulting for you guys. So if there's anything that you need, even if it's just prayer that you need, feel free to reach out to us. Hit us up at www.j29experience.com, or shoot me an email at admin at j29experience.com. I would love to hear from you guys, and always let me know if this video helped you or helped someone else. All right, guys. So listen, this is Stephanie Lowe, founder and CEO of the J29 Experience. I want you guys to always make sure you're following us on all of the platforms at the J29 Experience to stay up to beat on everything that we have going on. All right, you guys have an amazing holiday season, and we will tune back in on next Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye, guys. Love you.